Good evening, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the room. It is January 2026. I was about to say 2025, 2026. We are back in the room. We are grateful to have the opportunity to come back and to share with you again this year all of the things that are happening in the room. I pray that you've had a great start to the beginning of this year so far. For those of you, if this is your first time in the room, welcome. Welcome to the room. I am Dr. Gina Crawford, your host. And so we talk about what we talk about in the room. And so every month, last year, so happy anniversary to us. So last year, we decided to start something called Chair Chats. And for those of you who have been a part of Chair Chats, you know this is the space we talk about what people are doing. And so there are so many people who are doing so many phenomenal things. And sometimes we don't necessarily get a chance to hear about it. And so this is a space that God has created for people to come in and to share all of the things that they are doing. So if this is your first time in the room, welcome to the room. This is a space where God created just for you. And if this is your first time to Chair Chats, welcome. Welcome to Chair Chats. It is my honor and my privilege to be able to sit in this space with you on tonight. Thank you for those who supported the room over these years. Again, look, I want to say thank you to those who showed up in the room this past November. Man, when I tell you, thriving in the ring of life was all of that. And so don't forget, the Room Experience Live coming in November this year. Yeah, we already got the space ready. We already got the date ready. So don't forget, you will hear more about that coming up very soon. Very, very soon. Save the date. All right, so I am not going to prolong the time on tonight because I know that you want to hear from our guests on tonight. And so I am excited, beyond excited, to have this person to be the first Chair Chat guest for this year. And so, if you would join me in welcoming none other than Mrs. Demetrea Cooper. Y'all clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Again, we want to say good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on tonight. Y'all, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's about to take place. I'm excited about this conversation. I'm excited about all that is getting ready to be shared. So do me a favor, like, love, share. Turn it out, put it on the big screen, blast it out in your neighborhood, all of that, wherever you are. You don't want to miss this conversation on tonight. And so I want to take the opportunity again to say welcome, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have this friend of mine in the room. So listen. So if you hear us get a little off task, that's just how we are. And so you may know her as Mrs. Cooper. Some of you may know her as D. I call her Coop. So if you are ready to engage in this conversation on tonight, just go ahead and type something in the chat. Yeah, what's up? Come on, let's do this. Something in the chat to let us know that you are ready for this conversation. So, Demetrea Cooper, welcome. Welcome to Chair.
Hey, PG.
How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm
Blessed.
good. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you're here. I really am excited beyond words. And I think after this conversation, people are really going to understand the root of all of this excitement. Because sometimes, we do things and it's like, yeah, we brush it off, or yeah, we kind of like, yeah, I kind of did that. But this is that space where when God gives you something to do, we celebrate that. And so you just never know how encouraging you can be to somebody else. And so I thought, what better person to start off this year than you? The excitement queen herself. So listen, if people wanted to know something about Demetrea Cooper, how would you introduce yourself? Talk to the people.
I would introduce myself as fun, real, okay, jokester, prankster, um, lover of all things, lover of God. Okay, I don't do nothing without him. So, but just a fun person. Just love to have a good time. Love building community, building just other people up. Um, that's who I am, girl. You know.
Well, let me tell you. Apparently, you got some people who love you. Like the chat is lighting up. Do you hear
Come
me?
on, family.
The chat is lighting up. And so, one word that stuck out to me at Shelly Belly says chosen. So if you
Mm,
were to tell people who you are, she was like, just say chosen,
wow.
chosen,
That's
chosen, nurturer, a super compassionate person. Y'all, I we ain't even gotten to the conversation yet. Did
I'm
can
a
somebody give
crier
me some
too.
I was about to say, can somebody get her some tissue, please?
Yes, because my husband, he can like, don't you stop that crying.
You have a reason. You have a reason. You have a loyal. Y'all are really doing it already. I'm excited. And in a few minutes, you're going to see why people are saying all of these things about you. Sometimes we don't realize, and we were talking about this earlier. Sometimes we don't realize how people see us. And so when people say things about you, I'm learning myself to accept it because that's who you are. A spreader
Mm,
of positive energy. So I'm telling you. So this organization that you have started was created because of everything that people are saying about you. She's consistent. Somebody say you better not cry.
I ain't gonna do it.
You better not cry. So the reason we're here tonight, we're here to celebrate. We are here to celebrate. And for those who may not know, can you tell them why we're here to celebrate?
Well, we are here to celebrate the mere fact that I have started a nonprofit organization, and we not just some little bootleg nonprofit organization, okay? We are officially 501c3. And if y'all don't know what that is, you better go to Google, Copilot, Gemini, or whatever you need to go on to find out. But baby, listen, we can apply for grants. We can do so many things for the community with this nonprofit 501c3s. And it is a big undertaking. If you don't know, okay, it's a big deal. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think it's a big deal, know now it is a big deal. So I have started Cooper Academy Inc. I am the founder, executive director, and it's just so many things that is to come. And this has been literally 15 years in the making.
Wow.
So, yes, delayed, but
But
not
not
denied.
denied. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 15 years in the making. My question already for you, the first question is, why didn't you stop? What kept you going? 15 years is a long time. You got a whole teenager. 15 years is a long time. Some people would have said, you know what, in year 2, year 3, year 5, this must not be for me. 15 years. Why did you not stop? Why didn't you quit?
Well, one thing I can say that most people should know about me, and if you don't know about me, I'm not a quitter. And anytime that I face a challenge or adversity, I have to see it through because I know that there is something that lies on the other side. And
Mm-hmm.
so with that, I said, it started off literally me and my husband. It started off, it was going to be this school. We want to offer extracurricular activities for sports and all the things. And I just was like, oh, this is going to be great. And God said, no, that's not what I told you to do. That's what you want to do. And I was like, oh, okay. And so literally within those 15 years, every year God would give me something else. He
Mm.
would drop a gem, and it didn't make sense. And I said, well, I don't know what that means. And so it began to start developing and it started to grow. And it did not really come to full fruition until last year. And that's when I said, okay, I got it. I get it. And I said that to say, had I started this organization 15 years ago, I wouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
been ready.
Mm.
Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I would not have been ready. And so God knows the perfect time and when we should do things. And we have to stand on that. And no, yeah, you may want to do it today, but if that's not what he called you to do, then you have to wait on him for him to guide you and tell you
Yes.
how when to go forth. And so that's what I literally did. As much as, and I'm not gonna lie, I got so frustrated. I was ready to throw in the towel. I'm not doing this. This is too much. I'm overwhelmed. Da 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 da. I threw it down so many times, but he said, no more, no more.
And so, again, this is why people are saying what they're saying about you. And so it sounds like, and sometimes, again, we get frustrated. Sometimes we want to throw in the towel. Sometimes we do want to quit. Because sometimes when God gives us a visual, it's like, okay, so you mean tomorrow? And he's like, not necessarily. But here's the thing. And when you said that it took 15 years and it said that, it took a long time. And that you were not ready yet. It takes maturity to understand that you're not ready for something. It takes a certain level of maturity to understand that you're not ready. Also, what I hear is as God was growing the vision, he was growing you too. As God was developing the
Yes.
academy, he was developing you as well. And so again, and I'm glad you said that to
Yes.
people who are listening on tonight, because somebody's like, well, it hasn't happened yet. It doesn't mean it's not going to. You have to trust
That's right.
God's timing. Trust his timing.
Yes.
Trust his
For
timing.
sure.
So tell us about how did you choose the name Cooper Academy?
You broke up.
How did you choose the name Cooper Academy? Can you hear
Say that
me?
one more time,
God,
baby. You broke up.
how did you choose the name Cooper Academy? How did you
Yes.
decide to go with
Yes.
Cooper Academy?
I didn't, because I was like, I don't know. I don't know. And literally, God has this thing, and you and I have talked about this before. He wakes me up 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, and he'll just drop gems.
Yeah.
And I'll get up and I'll just start writing. I'll just start writing. And I didn't start writing it until you told me to start writing it. And when I started writing it, I said, okay, things are starting to now kind of make sense. And literally one morning in prayer, he just dropped the name. And I said, well, that's what it'll be. It was no, I don't know if I said, okay, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. And I went, well, I was already up. So I said, well, I might as well go on the IRS and go and get this EIN since I'm up. And here we are.
Here we are. So let me ask you, what personal experience caused you to
Woo.
say yes?
What
You okay
personal
over there?
experience?
Y'all okay? You
Yeah,
okay?
we had a little situation. Girl, stuff can fell on the floor, but that's okay. Because the devil is a
what
liar. Because y'all gonna hear it from me tonight. Mm-hmm.
what
Um,
personal experience? What caused you to say yes?
what called me to say yes was, as I look back, when God really started giving me the vision for the organization, I started thinking back about myself, right?
Mm,
Started having that reflective moment. And I just went back to my early adolescence, and I felt like I was misunderstood. I was angry, I was, frustrated, lashing out, just doing all of these things.
mhm.
And people are so quick to define, oh, she angry, she a bitter black woman, she this, she that. And I'm like, but you don't know my story. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know why I'm showing up like this. And so for me, it was somebody interceded for me.
Yeah.
And for her interceding for me, which was my step team coach, she was a mean woman. Mean. but she loved you. And she wanted what was best. I didn't understand it at the time,
Mhm.
but it all makes sense now. And so for me, it was, hmm, I know how I was misunderstood. There's so many kids, there's so many youth and young adults that are misunderstood simply because no one ever took the time to try
Yeah.
to figure out why they're behaving like that or why they're acting like that. You know, and so that literally was the catalyst for me. And I said, you know what? Okay, it makes sense. Let me be the bridge that can bridge that gap,
Mhm.
bring resources to the at-risk youth and youth that need wraparound services, because we have a whole overall holistic approach, and we'll talk about that later. But it's not just, hey girl, how you doing, how was your week, you had a good
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
I could pick up the phone for that. This is full out services to provide them what they need to be successful citizens, to be productive citizens, to be, one day parents, to be able
Mhm.
to give back to their community, to also understand that I don't have to continue this way. There can be a change. And so essentially that is what really honed me in with wanting to work with at-risk youth.
Yeah.
Like everybody say, the bad kids. The kids not bad. Now some kids bad, but
Okay. We're gonna edit that up. We're gonna edit it out. So
yeah.
you said something about people not knowing your story.
Mhm.
And so oftentimes what happens is we will envy people's glory
Mhm.
without knowing their story. And so that's something to be said to all of us. While you're envying where a person is now, you don't know what it took for them to get where they are. And so that's something that we all should be aware of. If I don't need to envy your glory, because I don't know your backstory. And truth be told, if I knew your backstory, I don't even think I would envy it even more. I wouldn't envy your glory, because some people could not have gone through what you have gone through. And this is something that I shared in our Bible study a couple of weeks, well, last week. And it takes courage to be you. It takes courage. And this is for
It does.
anybody. It takes courage to
Yep.
be who you really are, not who you pretend to be,
Yes.
not who people
Because there's a
define
lot of
you to
them.
be. Yeah, it takes courage to be who you truly are. And so when you talk about at-risk kids, we see what's happening with our kids in the news now. We see what's happening. We see what's happening. We know what's happening. And so for you to not turn a blind eye, for you not to turn your head, it says a lot. It says a lot. And so if you were to uh, pick a kid that you would welcome into Cooper Academy, describe that kid.
That kid would be one with a lot of discipline issues, attendance issues, possibly mental health issues, cannot
Mm,
self-regulate, um, and just acting out. Everyone has turned their back on, and they feel like Cooper Academy is their only option
mm.
in order for them to make it out. So that's what we do and what we will do. We're going to
I love
stand
the
in the
push.
gap, and
Yes,
we're going
the
to
gap.
provide those services. Yes, and we're going to provide those services. So we're going to have mental health counselors. We're going to have social and emotional mentors, and just overall mentors. All mentors will be trained to know how to handle trauma informed situations,
Mm.
knowing how to handle kids that have experienced trauma. So, I'm not being funny when I say this, but I'm not getting just people off the street. No, we going to have a full outright professional staff that is going to be able to assist the kids and get them where they need to be. They're going to have weekly meetings. They're going to have have case managers that's following up with them, with their families, ensuring that, even the families are doing what they need to be doing too, because also that is a huge contributor, right?
Yes.
And so with that, they're going to make sure that, again, there's wraparound services. And when I say wraparound services, it's providing services that this child need to completely cover that child, to ensure that they can be productive and accomplish the things that they need to accomplish.
And it is so needed. It is so needed. You and I see it every day. It is so needed. And so, again, I want to applaud you just for your yes. For your yes. It takes a lot to say yes. It takes a lot to say, you could have said, well, hey, I have my own kids. Let me just focus on my own kids. But for you to say yes, to this purpose, to this call that God has placed on your life and what God literally has put in your lap, it is absolutely amazing. And so let me ask you, so in terms of a community sense, what impact would you want Cooper Academy to leave within the community?
Hmm. The impact that I would want to leave in the community is just nurturing, providing, um, community service based, um, real,
Yes.
offering specialized services, not just to one specific thing, but to the whole child, and their family, and impactful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Impactful. If you were to say something to someone who's watching now
Mm-hmm.
who is trying to figure out if they should say yes to this thing that's been tugging on them, yes to this idea, yes to this vision. Sometimes it's like, I would say yes, but it's going to cost me a lot. I would say yes, but it's going to take me out of my comfort zone. I would say yes, but God, I don't really know what this looks like. What would you say to that person, knowing the journey that you've been on to make this come to fruition, or to your obedience? What would you say to somebody who's watching now who's kind of on the fence about giving their yes?
Mm. What I would say to that person is, you know, whenever you're going through these processes and
Mm-hmm.
times when you're trying to figure out what is for you and what's not for you, um, I'm gonna just say this: there's always going to be purpose in your pain. Okay, and I stole that because that was good. You know what I stole. But there's always going to be purpose in your pain. And I say that because I attribute everything that I have gone through, to this organization. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that, in this last season of my life, sometimes you're going to be forged by the fire. Okay.
Yes.
You are going to be forged by that fire, and that fire may be your kids. That fire may be your finances. That fire may be your spouse. The fire could be so many things, right? However, whenever you're going through this process, you have to fully commit to understanding, I know this is not going to be easy, and it's not on your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not on your time, it's on God's time. And so, just like in the Bible, because I got to bring some context, okay? Just like in Matthew 4, um, when Jesus was being tempted, right? He was in the wilderness. And as he was in that wilderness and going through all of those things, he was being tested and he was being tried and just going through all of these things. And so people are going to test you.
Yes.
Things are going to come to you or will be proposed to you that looks good. But again, if that is not what God has called you to do, you can't operate out of your flesh. You have to stay the course and know, okay, you know what? God didn't tell me to do that. That's my flesh telling me to
Mm-hmm.
do that. And when you have
Mm-hmm.
that spiritual awareness, you'll know what's for you and what's not for you, right? And so I don't know if you all are familiar with the text, but the devil pretty much was tempting Jesus. Well, you've been fasting 40 days, 40 nights, and I know you hungry. Y'all know this is my spin on the Bible. I know you hungry. If you want, go ahead and turn that rock into some bread. Jesus, like, listen, bro, if you don't get out of here with that, okay, like, took him up on top of the mountain, showing him, oh, look at all these kingdoms and all these things that you can have if you will serve me. Jesus, like, no. But if you read that text, it wasn't until verse 11 where it said that he in 10 he rebuked the devil, and in 10 and 11 the angels came, right? Yeah. Angels didn't come in verse 2. Angels didn't come in verse 5. Angels didn't come in verse 6, 7, 8, or 9. So there is a process that you're going to have to go through. There are some things that are just inevitable. That is a part of the process. And if you don't go through that process, guess what? God will start you over. Okay? And so as you go through that process, just know there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And he will command his angels concerning you. Literally, when I started this organization, I said, God, let me tell you, I ain't got the money for this. What you want me to do? I ain't got no money for this. I got a child still in college. Like, what do you want? I said, God, I need you to send me the resources. I need you to send me the people. I need you to send me everything. And when I tell you the way that God has been sending people to me, it will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. And I said all that to say that if you're trying to figure out your yes, you can't abort the mission. You can't just stop when you get ready, because this is not about you. This is about what God has called you to do. And when he has called you to do something, trust and believe me, he gonna get it up out you one way or another. He will get it up out of you. And for me, it was going through 2025. In that season, I had gone through so many things, and I'm like, God, what is happening? What is going on? But he was preparing me.
Yes. Yeah.
He was preparing me. He had to mature me. He had to grow me. He had to say, I don't need you to trust in yourself. I need you to trust me. Because that's your problem. You want to control everything. You're not in control. I'm in control. And a lot of you now, once I was able to relinquish that control and say, God, your will, not mine, everything just started falling in line. And I'll say this. When you were being forged by the fire, I want you to step fire. Hello. Devil, you a lie. Now,
come on here.
Fire will do two things. It'll either purify you, or it'll burn you up and consume you. So think about whatever that thing is that's holding you back and not allowing you to go forth. It's either going to purify you or it's going to consume you. And if you don't know what consume means, marred, burnt up. Okay. That's what happened. And I put here some context to talk about just some of the things that fire produces. Examples: fire, people burn their grass. We say, why do people burn their grass? Well, you put a fire, not a yard black. Well, why they got a black yard? Well, fire clears out dead vegetation and returns nutrients back to the soil, which allows the grass to return healthy and beautiful. Glass, ceramic has to go through a process of fire. Yeah, those that y'all drink out of, yeah, it went through a process. You got beautiful glasses, all of the thing, but the fire has to burn the silica in order for it to be produced into a glass. And last but not least, not least, I'll say this: pottery. Pottery. Think about the fire that's molding that your pot, your plant pot outside. It has to go through a process. And when it goes through that process of being a potter, he it has to be molded. It has to be molded. And so as you're going through this, your season, as you're trying to figure out your yes, you're trying to figure out your next move, you're trying to figure out what you need to do. Hey, just don't be consumed, but let it
Mm-hmm.
purify.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let it purify you so
Mm-hmm.
that you can come out beautiful, well, understanding, and knowing that what you went through was for a time such as this, so that he can get out of you what he put in you. Because he said he is the what? The potter, and we are the clay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he's going to mold us into what he wants us to be.
What are ushers? Any ushers in the house? Where the ushers at? The ushers. But is this time for the offering or what we doing? I'm just saying. saying. Listen, you done said a whole lot, and I'm sure that has blessed. You got some amens in the comments. That has blessed some people because people feel like God, if you give it to me today, and not to say that He won't. If you give it to me today, I don't have to go through anything. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be processed. I don't have to be pruned. I don't have to do any of that. And when you talk about Jesus being tempted, if Satan was foolish enough to tempt Jesus, why would he not tempt you? And so sometimes we give in, we have these pity parties and we cry and we do all these things. And what sticks out to me, what stands out to me about that passage every single time, Jesus came back with, it is written. It is written. It
Yep.
is written. I'm not going to argue with you.
Mhm.
It is written. And so literally in the seasons that you are going through in life, you got to get you a it is written. You got to get to a it is written. Where is your it is written? So anytime God is giving you something to do, yes, you will be tested. Yes, you will be tried, but you got to stand on your it is written. Knowing that that this is what I'm supposed to do, knowing that this is my purpose,
Yes.
regardless of what it is, regardless of who it. Yes, He said what He said. It is written. It is written, and so somebody needed to hear that on tonight. And so what we're saying is, don't give up, don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Do not stop. I don't care if it's 10 years. I don't care if it's 5 years. I don't care if it's 15 years. Do not stop. Stand on what is written. Stand on what He said.
Yeah.
Stand on what He said. Stand on what He said.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, people will come,
Yep.
people will go.
Yep.
But you stand on what God has spoken. You stand on what He said. And you said something, in terms of this is not a fly by night thing. This is not just people coming, it really it is your passion, it is your purpose. So let me ask you this: when you couldn't have done this by yourself, and this is not something that you can do by yourself. So what qualities do you look for, or have you looked for people to join this team?
Well, typically most people that are normal don't do this by themselves, but I
Mhm.
have done
Mhm.
everything by myself. Okay, everything. My husband, he said, babe, you need, no, boo, I got it, thank you though.
Mm.
But just his support and his love was enough. That was it. That's all I needed, right? um but no, I did everything by myself. That's why it took a whole year. But again, I think that was a part of the purpose and the
Yes.
plan.
Yeah.
Because not only I'm going to run this organization, but I want to help other people also start their organization and take them through that process and show them yeah, you um how to do it. And so I felt like, and this is just me and my thinking, if I hire somebody to do this and do that, I'm not going to know the process. And I'm a
Mm.
process type of
Mhm.
person. I
Mhm.
have to know the ins and out. I'm not going to be a person that's running an organization and don't know what's going on, don't know how to
Yes.
do reports. I absolutely will not. I'm the first soldier on the ground, and I'm going to be in every capacity, knowing what to do, how it's done, and how it shall be ran. However, the type of person that I would love for this organization, this has to be your passion. Kids at risk youth has to be your passion. If
Yeah.
you're coming just for something to eat, because y'all know I cook good. If y'all coming for something to eat, no, this is not for you. I'm gonna let you know you will clock in and clock right back out. Not doing it, because when I'm passionate about something, I'm passionate about it, and a whole different person comes out. Because at the end of the day, when God has called me to do something, I am going to be held accountable.
Yes.
So if
Yeah.
I allow others to come into my organization, not showing up the way that I have set a mission and vision, that goes against my integrity. That goes
Mhm.
against who I am as a person, an individual, and who God has called me to do for this time.
Mhm.
So that person will have to be, goal oriented, positive, caring, nurturing. I'm not asking you to be perfect because I want imperfect people. However, the kids has to be the focal point. The slander, the all of those, we not doing any of that. This is a professional organization. You have to have love for kids. You have to be consistent. You have to have that time to be able to provide for the kids that we're meeting weekly with. um so things like that is very, very important, and to me, and I
Yeah.
feel like will also reflect within the organization, because when you have loyal people and you have people of integrity and you have people that genuinely care about the kids, I feel like everything else falls in line.
And it makes a difference. It makes a difference. And one thing that I literally just heard, show up for people the way you want people to show up for you.
mm, that's
And
good.
that's something that I think, all of us at some point in time have to learn. Show up for people the way you want people to show up for you. And so sometimes we want people to show up for us, but we don't necessarily want to show up for people. And so, and keep it in mind, at some point in your life, somebody thought that you were worth it. At some point in your life,
Indeed.
somebody thought that
Indeed.
you were worth it. Somebody thought you were worth it. And so take all of that, and let me show up for people the way I want people to show up for me. You may not always have the capacity to do it, but the effort should still be there. The effort should still be there. Just make an effort. Just make an effort. And so, again, I'm excited for those who are joining us on tonight for our first time. You may have just tuned in. We are sitting here with Demetrea Cooper, D Coop, I call her Coop, the founder of Cooper Academy Empowerment Center. And so we're excited to have this conversation, our first chair chat of the year. And for those who don't know what chair chat is, chair chat was started last year in January. And so this is an opportunity for us to bring to you people who are doing some phenomenal things in the community who may not, other people may not know about. And so this is just our way of getting the word out, and so we are excited. We are excited. Let me ask you this. What would you say if you had to pinpoint one thing? What has been your biggest challenge?
Time.
Mm, elaborate.
Having a full-time job, a married woman with kids, is that's a job in itself.
True that.
And so you're talking about starting an organization, so I'm literally, while people see me smiling and giggling and laughing, I might have had 4 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just putting the time that I have to put in to get what I have gotten out, um I'll do it all over again.
Mm.
I'll do it all over again. Um, because obedience is better than sacrifice. And so with that, I said, well, I'll sleep later. I've dealt with so many things, literally to the point, and my hand was so
Mhm,
jacked
mhm,
up.
mhm.
I had to get a
Yeah.
shot in my hand. And guess what I was still doing? I had a pillow propped up under my arm and I was still typing. Devil, you won't stop me. And so again, just seeing those things that happen, and life is going to life.
It is.
What can you do about it? I mean, we can murmur and complain, but that doesn't change anything. You got to put one foot in front of the other and keep
Mhm.
moving. And so for me, like I said, it's just time. Anytime that I have, I'm I'm literally working on the organization, something for the organization. And I thank God too for my husband who has been understanding, because child date nights has been obsolete. Lord have mercy, I gotta take that man on
Mhm.
like 400-500 dates. Because I have just been so bogged down, just trying to get
Yeah.
it done, get it done, get it done. And so I would say time. Time is definitely what I wish I had more of.
And I just believe that because the time that you put into it, that God is going to honor that. That God is going to restore that. He's going to honor that. He's going to restore that. And so this is something that I've learned along this journey of just entrepreneurship and just ministry and all the things as they say, and still learning. If I'm not willing to put the time into it and invest in it, why should I expect somebody else to?
Yep.
Why should I expect somebody else to? And so, sometimes it takes the sacrifice. Sometimes, people don't understand what we do. Your call comes with a cost.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
call comes with a cost. And so, knowing that God is with you, knowing that He's going to restore everything that you've put out, knowing that He's going to replenish you, He's
Yeah.
going to replenish you. And so, again, people look at the end product and it's like, oh, that's success. No, success is the fact that I didn't quit. That's success.
Literally.
The fact that I wanted to not throw in the towel, but throw the towel at somebody.
In that order.
Yeah.
In that order.
I wanted to throw the towel. I didn't want to throw it in. I wanted to throw the towel at somebody. And so literally you have to know that you're called to it. You have to know, you have to understand that you're called to it. And sometimes we want other people to understand it. And God is like, they're not going, but we didn't have that conversation. I didn't have the conversation with them. I had the conversation with you.
And that's so funny that you say that, because, as I was going through this process and I was talking about it, I share everything. I'm an open book. I don't mind. And so God said, keep your mouth closed. And I believe you reaffirmed that to me. God woke me up and He said, in this season, keep your mouth closed. And the next day, I'm talking PG, and she like, keep your mouth closed. Don't you talk about nothing. And I was like, oh my God. And literally, you know how hard that was to not tell people? Because,
Mm-hmm.
I be happy, Chad. I'm like, girl, let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And He said, mm-mm. And
Mm-hmm.
so I realized, God said, I'm doing something different.
Yeah.
I'm doing
Yeah.
something different. And I want you to understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing, because so many times we talk about things prematurely.
Yes. Yes.
And He said, no, there's some things that I still have to do and I'm still working on, but I want to see if you're going to be obedient. And I
Mhm.
literally didn't, and I was like, oh man, that was tough. That was
Yeah.
hard. And
Yeah.
then look, and then I went, Father, is it okay now?
Can I talk now?
Can I talk about it? Because listen, you even strike me down, chair. I got too much
Can I
life to
talk
live.
now?
Can I talk?
And sometimes we will sow seeds and we will give other people the shovel to dig them up.
Ooh,
Sometimes God will say, "Here's the seed. Go ahead and plant it." And we will give people the shovel to dig them up and wonder why then it's not growing.
yes,
Wonder why it's not coming to fruition.
yes.
And so, in whenever you're building, whenever you are managing, whatever you are stewarding, you said something, God, can I talk now? You asked Him for God, because technically, let's be real, Cooper Academy does not belong to you.
It does not.
It doesn't belong to you. He said, I'm just going to let you steward it.
Yep. A willing
Technically,
vessel.
it belongs to me.
Yep. Willing
And so
vessel.
I'm going to let you steward it. And so because you are stewarding it, I think you need to consult with me about how to steward it.
And
And so this is for all of us about life.
literally, and I think that's also the thing that sometimes we miss. Sometimes we can kind of get so arrogant and so
Yes.
big headed, and we feel like we've arrived when you ain't showed up nowhere. Okay, ain't showed up a place, and that's where my fear of the Lord comes in, because I don't play about that man, and I fear him so much that I said, "Is it okay? Can I do this now?" Because I know from past seasons of my life and the things that
Hmm.
I've gone through. Okay, don't be obedient to see what happened.
See
You're
what
gonna go
happened.
back to scratch.
Same cycle. Yeah. Yeah. Same
You
cycle. And
know?
we get upset about the cycle.
Yes.
We get upset about the cycle. We get upset. God, why am I going through this again? He said, because you didn't learn the first time you went through it. So why would I okay. Why would I let you graduate when you haven't met all the requirements? Why would I let you graduate when you have yet to meet all the
Don't get
requirements?
me started on that.
So this when I tell you that this is powerful. Yes, it
Don't get
keeps
me
us
started.
humble. Then God is like, I need you to understand this is me. I just allowed you to put it in your I trusted to put it in your hands, but it doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to
Mhm.
you.
Literally.
So
And that goes back it doesn't.
it
And
doesn't
it
belong to
goes
you.
back to what I was telling you even earlier today. It's like I want to share things with people,
Hmm.
but I'm such in a place where I don't want to come off as braggadocious. I don't want to come off as arrogant. And, this is going to be hard for some people to believe. Okay. But it is a real statement, and I am not lying. But when I tell you I had to ask God to deliver me from people because I cared so much about what people thought about me. I cared so much about how they viewed me, how they perceived me, and all of these things. And I'm like, he like, why are you worried about that? Because again, oh, she, all the things that you hear in your ear. Oh, she thinks she's
Hmm.
this, or she
Hmm.
thinks she's that, but
Hmm.
you don't know how I have
Hmm.
sown. Okay. You don't know how I've sown. I've sown in many tears. I tell you some stories, y'all, it'll blow your mind. I have sown. And so in this last season, God literally uprooted all of that out of me.
Yeah.
And that's why I said everything is about timing. Because I'm at a place, I don't care. I care less what you think. Because
Hmm.
I'm doing what he's
Hmm.
called me to do.
Let me tell you, this is so good. I was sitting, going through this season of life, navigating this new season of life, and so I was sitting, and I all I heard was obedience over opinions.
Mm. Mm.
Obedience over opinions. And so for some who are out there who are watching, you're tuned in tonight, that's for you as well. You're trying to please people. You're trying to make sure everybody you have everybody's approval. You're trying to make sure that the vision that God has given you lines up with what somebody else said. We talked about confirmation. God, I need 12 different people to confirm it. And so this season yeah. And then it's like, well, okay, you sent the 12 people to confirm it, but now I'm looking for a specific person and you ain't sent that person yet. So I'm just going to hold off and I'm just going to wait. And so in
Guilty.
this season, it has to be obedience over opinions.
Yes.
Obedience over opinion. And here's the thing, obedience, not just over the opinions of other people, even your own opinion doesn't even count. Your opinion about what God is doing and what he wants to do and how he's doing, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so, to see and to hear this firsthand at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the year. And so that says to people, don't wait. If he's telling you to do something, go ahead and do it. Can I tell you something? People are going to be people. If
Hmm.
I have learned nothing else in life, people are going to be people.
Hmm.
People are going to be people. And so we put so much into what people think. We put so much, into the approval of people. People are going to be people. Everybody's not going to understand what God has told you to do.
Right.
That song, was it It was an old song. I don't know. Okay, I'm dating myself. Song say, "You don't know what the Lord told me. You don't know because you wasn't there. You don't know when and you don't know where. You don't know what the Lord told me."
Who knows
Okay,
that song
okay.
but you?
Woo!
You find that, you send that to me. I need that.
I, I need me a give me a fan with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on it. I'll sing it for you. Give me a fan with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on it. I will sing it for you. You don't know what the Lord told me. You don't know because you wasn't there. You don't know when and you don't know where. You don't know what the Lord told me. And so it has to be obedience over opinions. Listen, I am so excited about this conversation. So I want people to know that this is up, it is running, you are ready. What are you excited about right now as we get ready to bring this to a close? What excites you right now? Like, what are you excited about?
What excites me right now is just seeing the percentages of the lives that I've changed and how
Hmm.
impactful we were, and having our end of the year gala where they're coming back and, as different individuals. And then they're coming back to the organization, giving their time and doing all those things. And just seeing how we have impacted their life and have
Mm,
made those changes, and seeing them become better citizens, better people. And essentially that's what I'm excited for, seeing people sign up, going to our website, going down straight to the bottom and completing the intake form. Typically, here in a little while, I'm still going to be, you can self-register, but we will be referral based. So we'll be getting referrals from Department of Health and Human Services. We'll be getting referrals from foster care. We'll be getting referrals from law enforcement, DJJ. And so all of the, we'll get referrals from schools.
mm-hmm.
So, it is referral based as well, because again, we want to make sure that we are getting the heavy hitters, right?
Yes.
However, if your child, you feel like this is something that your child needs to know about, and you feel like that they can benefit from it, because we're not just going to be talking about educational things. We're going to be talking about preventing sex and labor trafficking, because right now Georgia is number 1 in the US with kids ages 12 to 14. And I'll say this, and this is some of the things that we will do, offering the preventive education. Right now, there is a new drug on the market called Puff.
Mm,
And what it is people are taking this drug and they're crushing it up. So while you out at the parties and you're hanging out and you're doing all these things, somebody's talking to you. Somebody else might be behind you or beside you, and they blow it.
mm,
They're ingesting it. The kids are ingesting it, or whomever, the young adult isn't ingesting it, and you become disoriented. You don't know where you are. You don't know what happened to you. You don't know anything. And so these are the type of things that we want to bring to the forefront, to the community, to let families know. You need to check your child's phone. You need to
yes.
check online
Yes.
how kids are being, solicited online. The coercion and the rings that I have seen is insane. It
Yeah.
is insane. And I hate to say it, but they're using high school girls to recruit other girls.
Mm,
They're using, and this is even worse, they're using the boys just as well as they're using the girls.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's not no gender biasness here. Everybody's at risk. And I hate to say it, even us as adults are at risk. If you going to a festival or you're going here or there, be aware of your surroundings. Know what's
Yes.
going on.
Yes.
Don't drink
Yes.
anything from anybody. Don't take, you know how I am. I'm very particular. I don't eat from everybody. I'm good. I'm fasting. Lord forgive me. But I ain't doing it, because just because your heart is pure, everybody else's heart is not
Yes.
pure.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but of what? principalities. This thing is spiritual. And so you have to know what you're entertaining. You have to know what's around you. And you have to make yourself aware as well as making your kids aware as well. So essentially, that is what we will be doing. I'm excited. Y'all go to the website. Y'all go sign y'all kids up. It is free. It is no. Now you're gonna have to drive your child there. We ain't got no buses or no transportation yet. I need y'all to get some kids up on there so we can get a little change from the federal government, okay? But we got to get some people up in there first, okay? And then I could probably get me a little bus or something, come pick y'all up and everything. But until then, I'm gonna need y'all to Uber. I can come pick you up now. I got a little 7-seater. I can pick you up, but that's about it. But no, seriously, I want us to definitely be impactful, sign them
Yes.
up, register, just to get that information and knowledge.
I am so excited for you. And again, thank you for sharing that. There's so many things that are happening out here that we don't know. And yes, it is spiritual and we have to be aware. We have to be aware. We can't walk around as if we are blinded to what's happening around us. And so if you want more information, the website is cooperacademyempowerment.com. Cooperacademyempowerment.com. Go to the website. It is up, it is running. And so it's open. It's open. It's open to the community. Even if you say, well, this is not for me, feel free to share this information with somebody that you know. Somebody needs it. Share it in your civic organization. Share it on your job. Share it with your church. Share it with your family members. I guarantee you there's somebody, if you don't know somebody knows somebody's child who needs this. And so we wanted to bring this to you at the top of the year. We have to steward our babies a little bit, but a lot better than what we're doing. We have to steward them well. We have to cover them well. Not just your own biological kids, your niece, your nephew, but they all belong to us. We have to steward them well. And so, it literally it's almost as if the enemy is saying, if I can snatch them in seed form, if I can prevent them from growing up, if I can keep them incarcerated, if I can keep them with challenges, if I can keep them with a rebellious spirit, then I got them. Not
Yeah,
on our watch.
not on our
Not
watch.
on our watch. Not
That's
on our watch. And
no.
so we want to say thank you all for joining us on tonight. Hang on. I want to show you something here. Here is the logo. So it is one moment, endless impact. Cooper Academy. It is a nonprofit organization, and we are so grateful. There's so much. If you're able to partner with Cooper Academy, there's so many things. Again, go to the website, check it out. We are excited. Again, if this is not for you, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody. We thank God for all that is taking place in this arena. And so, thank you for your yes. Thank you for your yes to God first and foremost. Thank you for your yes again. Go to cooperacademyempowerment.com. We are so grateful that you joined us on tonight. We want to say to our audience, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the love. And so listen, again, this is the room, chair chat. So once a month, we try to bring to you somebody within the community. It doesn't have to be somebody local. It could be somebody anywhere. We want to share the goodness of what's happening in the world. There's so much sharing about what's going wrong, about who's doing what's not going right. And so we want to bring the opposite of that. We want to bring the opposite of that. So we are so grateful to have this conversation on tonight. We are so grateful that Cooper Academy Empowerment Center is up and running, and they're waiting on you. 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 So dive in, put your hands in. If somebody wants to volunteer, how can they do that?
So if they go to the website, they can actually, it's an email link there as well. That actually says if you want to volunteer, you can click that volunteer link or send us an email. And just let us know that you want to volunteer. Make sure you leave your contact information, your phone number, your email, and then I will reach out to you, or my program manager will reach out to you, and we will go ahead and go forth that way. I do ask, like I said, this ain't the church, but donate, donate, donate.
Yes,
Everything that I'm doing
yes,
right now is out of my own pocket
yes,
in the Lord, because I told the Lord, if it's his will, it's his bill. So I need him to come on and send me some coins. Send me some coins, because I got things I got to do.
yes,
Okay.
and you will.
But no, please go to the website, donate. I don't care if it's $5. That $5 can go toward a book. That $5
Yes.
can go towards the curriculum. They'll
Yes.
the we are offering language impaired services. So those kids that are deaf, hard of hearing families, we're going to have interpreters. These things cost.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a easy task. It is not an easy undertaking, but I know that with God, all things are possible. So I love you guys. I
Yes.
trust you guys gonna hook your girl up, and I'll see you guys soon with some more success stories.
Amen. Amen. Look at me talking about amen. And it is so. So again, if you want to donate, if no amount is too small, no amount is too big. If you want to donate, if you know somebody who has things that are needed, resources, feel free. Again, Cooper Academy Empowerment .com is the website. So we are so grateful to have her on here on tonight. Listen, I want to say thank you so much for those who are a part of our LSCM633 community. If you want to sew on tonight, you can do via Cash App at $LSCM633. And those who will sew on tonight, we're going to donate that to Cooper Academy. So if you're sewing on tonight, we will donate those proceeds to if you're sewing tonight, we will give it to Cooper Academy. We'll give it to Cooper Academy. So for those who want to know more about the room and LSCM 633, you can go to
I said I
Linktree.
wasn't gonna cry.
Too late, girl. You already crying. You started crying before we got in 5 minutes to it. Too late. Linktree / LSC Ministries is who we are. And so LSC is let's stay community, let's stay connected, let's stay committed. And so we thank God for this opportunity. So if you're sewing on tonight, Cash App $LSCM633. That's Cash App $LSCM633. And it will go straight to Cooper Academy. Again, we don't just talk, we do. And so I am excited about all that God is doing in your life and through those who will be impacted. For those who will be impacted, so we are grateful for for the opportunity to share with you all on tonight. Listen, come on back next month for our next share chat. Here's the thing: if you know somebody in the community, again, you can go to LSCM633 Linktree. Go to our website LSCM633.com. You can share with us, email us, let us know what people are doing in the community. Even if it's you, if you're watching and you say, hey, I've had this idea, I have this organization, I have this program, let us know what you're doing. Let us know what you're doing. This is one platform that God has given us to steward, and we want to steward it well by sharing what you're doing, sharing with the community what you're doing. So listen, I pray that you all will stay safe. With this weather coming up, I pray that you will, let's be kind to each other. Let's be kind to each other. There's so much that's happening around us. Let's be kind to each other. Again, whatever God is calling you to do, do it. Do it. Do it. Look, I don't want to be the one to say, he said, hey, I gave you to do such and such and such. What's your reason? Because they was talking about me and then, yeah, no. I'm not finna get a whooping for none of y'all. None of y'all. So listen again, obedience over opinions. You can do it. You can do it. Here's proof on tonight that you can do it. So listen, we love y'all. Again, thank you for joining us in the room. Join us next Thursday in the room. No, I won't be on them next Thursday. Let's see. Y'all must get. I know. Well, join us back the next time you come as we in the room. So we gonna be in the room. So we thank God again. This is the space that God created just for us, where we talk about what we talk about. Listen, I love y'all. We love y'all. Anything, Coop, you want to leave anybody with before we log off on tonight?
I'm just
Like,
grateful.
I don't know, girl.
Look, I ain't got no words. I said I wasn't gonna cry. I did good. How you get me in the last few minutes?
Hey, it's what I do. It's what
Oh
I
my
do.
God, I'm
It's
just
what we
grateful.
do.
I thank you. I thank you for the platform. I thank you for bringing me on. I thank you for seeing me through this process, being my mentor, guiding me. It has not been an easy plight. However, um, being my accountability partner has been one of the best things that has happened. So I'm grateful.
We are grateful, and I like to say, "To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory." I just give him my yes. It ain't always an easy yes. Sometimes it's a you for real, but give him my yes. Give him my yes. So listen, we thank God for you all. Thank you, God, for joining us tonight. Share this with somebody. If you know that somebody could not log on tonight, they can go to YouTube to watch the replay. Just look for LSCM 633. They can go to YouTube, watch the replay, share this, share about Cooper. We share everything else. Share this, share
Will.
this. We complain about the kids. Share this, share this. And so again, don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. And so again, we want to say good night to you. We thank God for your time. We do not take it for granted the time that you've chosen to log in. So again, if you did not sow into LSCM 633, and all tonight's proceeds will go to Cooper Academy. Cooper Academy Empowerment Center. Listen, y'all be safe out here. Y'all be kind to each other. And look, we will see you in these Jesus streets. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.